Hello humans and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Today, it's a celebration, baby. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. Well guys, let me start off by saying that Atlus is my favorite, and I mean my favorite company out there. Just because throughout the years, I've been enjoying the games in one form or another. Sometimes not even knowing that they were their games. The first time I ever got obsessed with a game from Atlus was Dungeon Explorer when I had my TurboGrafx 16. Now that came out in I think in '89 or '90, but I didn't really own a TurboGrafx until '91, I believe. But I bought that TurboGrafx off a recycler, a Craigslist type newspaper back in the day, and I played that game to death. Man, I loved playing and just losing myself in that game. But unbeknownst to me, back in those days, I really wasn't thinking about developers or who made this or that. I was just playing games in the arcade and and my systems and enjoying them for whatever I liked. Now, when you guys think of Atlus, most of you think of Persona, Shin Megami Tensei maybe, but there's so much. I mean, there's so much that this company has put out throughout the years, and one of the reasons they're my favorite developers is because they put up so many different kinds of games that I've enjoyed throughout the years. I mean, right now, if you look at Persona, I mean, what do you think about? Do you think about Catherine Full Body? You're thinking about Persona 5S coming out, but there's been a legacy of games. I mean, go back to Dragon's Pro, Strange Journey, Odin Sphere. I mean, going back to previous generations, but I'm telling you, it's even deeper than that. When I think of the one of my favorite arcade games, I was into fighters back in the late 90s, but there's a game that I saw in an arcade, and I came across this game because I couldn't play Street Fighter at that time because it was just full, but arcades were full of fighters. But I saw a game that it was just so creative, so different, and that was Groove on Fight. And if you guys never played it, I'm telling you, it is a great, very stylish game. The characters are funny and creative, and they would go from something like that, for example, it's a completely artsy game, and then they would bring us something like Strikers 1945 on the PlayStation. They put out some stuff by Cave, for example. I mean, they are so diverse, and then after doing two games like that so different, they bring out Persona 2 Innocent Sin for the Dreamcast. Oh my gosh, the Dreamcast. Let's talk about Machina X. That's a classic game. So much style again. Growlancer. Oh jeez. There's just so much, so much, and things that and they're not afraid. I mean, when I talk about Atlus, one of my favorite things about them is that they take chances. They take chances when other companies try to do the safe thing. I mean, now, not so much, but back in the day, I mean, they would just throw up everything. I mean, talk about the Devil Children, the last Bible over here. That was, they couldn't bring it in under its real name, right? But I mean, they've been involved with stuff like my Disney Kitchen, Demi Kids, just so many titles, River City Ransom EX for the Game Boy, I think, or the Game Boy Advance was one of them. And if you look at their catalog, and you can see they've been, in all the consoles, and they've been on PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, they've been on the arcade, they've been on mobile phones, the Nintendo DS, the PSP. Oh my gosh, so many great games for the PSP. A lot of them really expensive. That's the other thing, is one of the reasons I love collecting, and I don't mind spending the money on retro games from Atlus, is because they keep their value. You name it. I mean, you try to buy Persona 2 Innocent Sin now for the PSP, it's worth more than when it came out. I mean, it really is. And they're not afraid of putting things in different consoles, maybe updating Persona 5 Golden. They published my favorite JRPG, the first one that I played, and that's one of the reasons it's one of my favorites, is because it's the first one that got me into the genre. Devil's Own or Soul Hackers, on the 3DS. Dragon's Crown. I mean, you guys remember how controversial that was, but they gave no F's, right? They put it out there when many companies would have shied away from that type of art, right? And like I said, they have so many iconic titles for us true fans of JRPGs, for example, or arcade fans. They have so many titles that we remember with fondness. So it's really been a journey, especially for a Gen X gamer. You have to think about what is 34 years. It's this 34-year journey. I mean, this company got started when I was in high school, basically. And now, they're doing things like Catherine Full Body, and you look at Catherine Full Body, for example, and you look at the first game that I can remember playing, and they're so different. Dungeon Explorer, right? And we're not even mentioning the game changer, which is Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei. But there's been so much. They did stuff like Friday the 13th on the NES. So they took a lot of chances, and sure, there was a lot of misses along the way, but there's so many memories, guys. So many memories that this company has brought me. So much enjoyment throughout the years, and I really want to thank them. I want to thank the company for putting out this great content. And they do make content. They do make games. I mean, I own so many of their products, and they brought me so much entertainment and joy and fun that it really is a celebration for me that they're still around. And I hope that they get back to their roots, where they would put on more and different things, things in the arcade, Blazion, for example. But I mean, it's that drive that, for example, they did Power Instinct. Power Instinct was another one, and man, I have such fondness for this company and what it's meant to me throughout the years of playing their games, and I hope they know that there's a lot of us out here that have enjoyed the ride with them, and we're probably going to stick around for much longer, and still buy their products. And I wish we could still support them by buying the old products, but it is what it is. I hope someday all these titles are going to be online, and you guys will be able to enjoy them and play some of the games that I played in my youth. Just because they're not today's graphic quality doesn't mean they weren't fun. It doesn't mean you couldn't have fun on the graphics of a TurboGrafx CD, for example, or a Sega CD. There's still fun games out there to play. There's still fun games to own, and they have a very, very special place in my heart. So I want to wish Atlus a very, very happy birthday, and I wish many more successes to come, and I look forward to playing Shin Megami Tensei 5, and they absolutely can take my money. Alright guys, I just want to wish a happy birthday to Atlus and to all the Atlus fans out there. I hope you're doing well and staying blessed, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click the notification bell, and remember, never be afraid to be happy. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.